will the Bengals do with the 31st overall pick in the 2022 NFL Draft? Hi again, everyone. I'm James Rapien of allbengals.com and Cincinnati Bengals Talk here at Paul Brown Stadium. It's a little gloomier than it was on Friday, but the weather compromised enough, with me at least, so I could get this video in the stadium without getting rained on and messing up my hair. Thank you so much for watching, as always, here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Zac Taylor talked today, and if you missed it, well, you can watch every second of it right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk, so check that out. But I want to give you some takeaways from Zac Taylor, and the first thing is, well, he's not going to say much. He's not going to give you a ton of, all right, well, this is our philosophy. This is what we're targeting. This is what we're not targeting. Here's what I will say is Zac Taylor, I thought, was pretty damn entertaining and gave some insightful answers on the draft process, how he, along with the rest of the organization, not just scouts the players, but evaluates the players, how they put the board together, and was pretty honest and upfront. And I asked him a couple of things. The first one being about the offensive line and drop back passing. That's something they want to do. Let's not get it twisted, right? This is the same offense that Joe Burrow threw 60-plus passes in his second career game, but with Myles Garrett bearing down on him on Thursday Night Football 4 days after his debut, right? I mean, they throw if they can, if they feel like that's the best, gives them the best chance to win. And that's the part of it where you look at a Tyler Linderbaum and you look at some of these other offensive linemen, and are they willing to take him, specifically Linderbaum, because of the size issues, the arm length, 302 pounds, 6'2". He's not 6'3". He's not 315. He doesn't have 33.5-inch arms. He has 31 1/8-inch arms. How much does that matter? And, yeah, I could have asked him directly about arm length, and he was asked that. But I think they went into this offseason saying, look, we need to find guys that are going to protect Joe Burrow, that are going to be able to do what we need them to do in drop-back passing situations, because that's why he got hit so many times in the postseason. There were a lot of drop-back passing situations, second and longs, third and longs. And guess what? Your quarterback's going to get hit if your offensive line can't hold up. And so that's why they went out and targeted a Ted Karras. That's why they went out and got Alex Kappa. That's why they went out and got La'el Collins. And so does Tyler Linderbaum fit that? And I asked him, and I think, me personally, think he does, but that is going to be a dilemma with that 31st pick. On the flip side, I think there are other glaring needs, right? Cornerback is obviously one that's going to be talked about a ton between now and Thursday night. If a top corner is there, whether it's a Kyer Elam, whether it's an Andrew Booth Jr., who I know a lot of people are a fan of. Look, the bottom line is this, and he got asked about arm length about the corners as well, but it's all little pieces. And then they're going to slot them, and ultimately, do they have a round one grade on Linderbaum? If they do, and he's there at 31, I think there's a pretty decent chance they take him. It just doesn't feel like that's going to be the case. It doesn't feel like if he's there, they're going to say, all right, he's better than Elam, or he's better than Booth, or he's better than insert whatever player. And so that's the part of it that's quite interesting. And I will say this, couple of things. One, the Bengals have done pretty well in the second round in one of Zac's 3 years. The Drew Sample pick was obviously awful back in 2019. T. Higgins, grand slam, 33rd overall pick. I mean, that was an easy home run with the bases loaded, with the game on the line, right? At the same time last year, verdict's still out when it comes to Jackson Carman. And so that's what the 31st pick basically is. And so they're one of three. They need to get to 2 of 4. They need to get to that 50% range for sure. And maybe Carman turns it around and becomes something. But as of now, it feels like 1 of 3, and this isn't baseball. So 33% is not enough to make you an all-star here in the draft. And so that's the part of it that's going to be quite interesting, is to see which route they go. He also took pressure off of it. He said, look, we're not necessarily finding someone that's going to be a day one starter. And I keep trying to hammer this home. If they take a corner, it does not mean that Eli Apple is suddenly going to the bench. I don't think that's necessarily the case. So buckle up for that if that happens. But I think everything is on the table right now. I think defensive line's on the table, both edge and interior. I'm thinking Logan Hall at defensive tackle, certainly someone that fits the bill. There was something that he was asked about big school prospects, right? Because they've drafted a lot of LSUs, a lot of Clemsons, a lot of Ohio States, a lot of Alabamas over the past couple of years, and had success with those guys. He was like, look, we have those guys now with big game experience, not only in college but in the NFL on our team. It helps to have that experience, but you don't necessarily need it. So I instantly thought of a Logan Hall. Certainly think he's a candidate to be that 31st overall pick. George Karlaftis is a guy that continues to – there's buzz about him falling. If he's there at 31, I'd be pretty surprised if the Bengals didn't take him, to be quite honest with you, because he would give them more juice on the edge, which is something they could certainly use, even after adding Trey Hendrickson, even with Joseph Osai coming back. I get it. There's a lot of Sam Hubbard love. I'm not saying that there isn't a room for Sam Hubbard. Of course there is. And you can play him inside on pass downs too and put Karlaftis and Hendrickson and Osai in there and have quite a quartet of pass rushers. So when you're drafting 31st, you're going to have to be open to a bunch of different scenarios because there's 30 teams that are going to be – or 30 picks, not 30 teams. A bunch of teams have two first-rounders this year. But you're going to have to be open to a bunch of different things. And that's really what they're doing now is going through the different mock drafts, the different scenarios that could play out. And something that Duke Tobin mentioned last week that Zac Taylor was asked about today, and it coincides. And I really do urge you to watch both of them. If you're on this channel, you're probably a huge Bengals fan. It's about 60 minutes, but I think it's good stuff from Duke Tobin, 30 minutes worth, and about 35 of Zac Taylor. But they do these mock drafts, and normally it's the worst-case scenario because the Bengals have their board of who they like, and so you have a coach that's representing this team, this team, this team, and this team. So by the time you get to 31, it's the worst-case scenario, but you still feel pretty good about it. And so that'd be fun. I'm a mock draft guy, so I think that part would be pretty fun. But, yeah, this is quite a time. There's going to be a lot of rumors. There's going to be a lot of different things that circle throughout this week. We're going to have videos covering it all throughout the week. Obviously, we'll be here for draft day. We'll be here for round 2 and 3. We'll be here for rounds 4 through 7. It's going to be a long weekend for Andrew Fox Miller, our channel coordinator, and myself. But guess what? It's a holiday. It's the NFL draft, and we're going to bring it here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. One last thing, and I thought that this was great by Zac Taylor, just hilarious. He was asked what the number one prospect that he's ever evaluated, NFL draft prospect. And he said Andrew Luck. And I'm gonna play this little clip for you. And this is why you should watch the entire Zac Taylor news conference, because I thought it was pretty entertaining. I thought it was informative. But he said Andrew Luck and talked about Andrew Luck some. And then he got asked about Joe Burrow, and he's like, oh, you just got me in trouble. I wasn't thinking about our own guys. And so here's that clip, Zac Taylor on Andrew Luck. The question, the clip, and then the back and forth about Joe Burrow afterwards.
We asked Callahan this, who is the best prospect you ever seen on tape leading up to a draft since you've been in the league?
Well, for me specifically, probably Andrew Luck.
Why? Just
He was just the total package. You just interview the guy. Size, speed, strength, football IQ, tangibles, background, productivity at Stanford. I mean, it was just the total package. Great player. But again, I was more quarterbacks, so that was kind of the world I lived in. But yeah, he was really impressive.
More than Joe Burrow.
See, I wasn't thinking about my own players. I was thinking about that would definitely be the answer. Yeah, that's a horrible answer by me because he absolutely is the answer to that. But I'm thinking more to guys I scouted as a position coach, I guess.
And that's how I meant it. Sorry.
Yeah, I revised my answer. It's Joe Burrow and then Andrew Luck. So make sure that's in your stories.
Yeah, before we think about Luck, right? Same reason.
100%. I mean, the guy never lost, shattered every record known to man. So easiest decision we've ever made. I think you all agree.
Callahan said Jamar Chase last week.
See, I can't. Why would I even answer this question?
That's hilarious. It's hilarious. But I appreciate his honesty. And I do think it would be easy to forget and not take into account your own players. Heck, last week, Brian Callahan said Jamar Chase. So kind of funny that he went the Andrew Luck route. But to his point, Andrew Luck completely flipped the script and changed the Indianapolis Colts from what they were in the post-Peyton Manning era, right? And to me, what Joe Burrow has done here in Cincinnati is a lot like the guy Andrew Luck replaced. It's a lot like Peyton Manning and Peyton Manning-esque on how he's captured the town, how I think he has a chance to really change football and the way football is viewed here in Cincinnati. So that part of it, I think there's a huge correlation and tie between the Colts and the Bengals, even though, you know, and the other thing is Luck was an amazing prospect and kept the Colts thing rolling until he ultimately retired because they couldn't protect him. The Bengals, on the other hand, well, they've invested in their offensive line. Will they continue to do so in the 2022 NFL draft? We'll get a ton this week, including what I think they should do. So, yeah, buckle up, strap up, get ready. A ton of content coming your way. We'll have you covered with all the latest rumors. We're working on some guests here between now and the NFL draft as well. So buckle up for that. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and just refresh, because especially during the draft, there's going to be stuff we can't notify you on. We can only get so many notifications every 24 hours. So we're not going to notify you on every news conference, every blurb, everything, but we're going to come at you with a ton this week. So if you just subscribed, if you're new, well, you've come to the right place if you're looking for Cincinnati Bengals coverage here on YouTube. For our channel coordinator, Andrew Fox Miller, I'm James Rapien, signing off for now right here at Paul Brown Stadium.